Hi, this is Frank Schaeffer in Verona, Italy, where I'm taking a few days off after doing some filming on a documentary that's being made about me in Switzerland. Jeannie and I came down here, and I'm in a castle in Verona that's also a museum, just wandering around thinking how history repeats itself. There are Roman ruins here, and I keep seeing notices saying that this or that building or piece of wall survived an attack by Germania, which means the German tribes. And of course the Romans never made it across the Danube and therefore were unable to civilize, depending on your point of view, and or conquer the German tribes. That then went on through history as unreconstructed warriors, starting both World War I and II, and before that attacked France on numerous occasions, and then bought oil and gas from Russia, empowered Vladimir Putin, kept finding themselves on the wrong side of history. While I've been here, Liz Truss's, time as Prime Minister ended after, 60 days, breaking all records in terms of a short duration of a Prime Minister. They've had, 5 or 6 Prime Ministers in a few years. Now they're called Britalia, sort of mocking the idea they've had as many governments as the Italians do, and their financial ratings have dropped lower than the southern parts of Europe like Italy and Spain. We're living in a time of absolute chaos, which is much more similar to the Roman era of the decline of the Roman Empire than it is to present modern history. It's a pity that we Americans don't study history more, or we would understand more about what's going on. If you look at the wall behind me, these walls tell a story of the chaos that comes when one loses control of one's own history. Down in the foundations you can see Roman ruins, and then on those ruins are built a castle from the 12th century, so you have Roman ruins, bits and pieces of Etruscan and Roman civilization, and then above me the battlements of a castle later built in the 12th century, now a fabulously reconstructed museum where you just have to admire the Italian ingenuity, but also the engineering to save this building. And I love being in a place like this because it gives perspective on our own era. We get so caught up in environmental degradation, or woke versus conservative, or Republican versus Democrat. We kind of lose track of the fact that we are just a mere footnote in history. The United States has existed for literally not even half a breath of historical time, let alone geological time, and yet we sort of think that everything stands or falls on our own moment. Well, it doesn't. You get a much better perspective in a place like this, and it's good to remember we're just part of an ongoing history of Western civilization, where Roman emperors sometimes involved and included people of different races that they took into the empire and made citizens, where the rise and fall of empires depended on Germanic tribes invading and then being pushed back again, and where later in the Middle Ages a Christian civilization was built on the ruins of the Roman civilization. There's a huge cycle in history, and we would do well to stop and ponder once in a while before we get so caught up in our own moment, worrying about the agenda of the right or left, or whether Donald Trump will come back into power, who wins elections, and all the rest of it. It all matters, but everything mattered to these people too, and they're gone now. Here's the last of a Roman wall, built to try to keep the German tribes out, and here's a bit of the medieval walls and the 12th century walls built to defend a ruling family, and they're gone too now. We have our moment on this stage, and we will all also be swept away. My name is Frank Schaeffer.